Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Lisa from Question the Narrative, and I'm here with Honey Golden on Tuesday, October the 14th. How is everybody doing today? Honey, how are you?
Good. A little tired. I didn't sleep well.
Ah, thank you.
So, yeah.
Everybody's doing it, right? Everybody's got this problem.
Ooh, it was
Yeah.
intense last night.
Really? How much did you sleep?
Yeah. I woke up probably every couple of hours, and I woke up around 3 and couldn't go back to sleep for a little
Hmm.
while, and I slept until 7, which is way beyond what I like to get up at 6. So,
Hmm.
and my husband's over in the corner with his computer and no lights on.
Trying to be polite, right? It's like,
Trying to be nice.
oh, that's
Yeah.
so sweet. Wow, wow. Because that's, I mean, I've had that for a long time, being up between like 3 and 4:30 or
Hmm.
2:30, 4:30. But I actually slept last night, but that was because I was doing so much. There was so much in exhaustion. But I'm very tired now because I
Yeah.
think there's just a lot going on because when I do sleep, there's something happening. So maybe
Hmm.
you can tell us what's going on. What's going on the other
So
side of
last night
like,
was a huge purge, and the first thing I saw were people that had been basically tortured before they died. So there was murder that was being cleared, like scary murder, not murder that's fast. There was a lot of relationship stuff that was being cleared, like old relationship stuff. And it was super intense and it just went on all night long. So it was crazy. Like, I think I went through all of my high school relationships, all of my, adult relationships, all of those were cleared last
hmm.
night for myself, but the stuff that was being cleared for humanity was really big. And I don't
Wow.
think my inner child was too happy to be included because for me to remember, that means she had to be there in the astral plane with the big soul, that I have. So it's like, she's like, oh, get me out of here. I'm going back in my body. And so I would wake up and then I would be like, oh, that was horrible. And then I'd go back to sleep. And
Wow.
it was just a big clearing last night. Yeah.
Wow. That's so interesting. So do you think a lot of people are feeling this clearing? Is there a particular thing that's happening? It's the energies, Three Eye Atlas, or what do you think is sort of driving this clearing process
Well,
right
I
now?
think we have to clear it so that we can accept new codes. And the the murder thing was the biggest thing. And then the relationship was like the aftermath thing, like individual people probably
Yeah.
clearing relationship stuff. So, what is that going to mean? That means your divine partner is going to have an easier time, like basically coming into your life now because you've cleared the relationship stuff. So, if there's
Mm.
anything you feel like is still there, I would definitely work on it.
That's interesting because I've had two things that I would just share because I think we're all sharing things that are happening to us. One is that I keep on going through this, and when your mind has like they're playing out a scenario that it's like prepping you for something, and that scenario is that as the truth comes out, I'm like, oh, I knew that one. No, I knew that one. Yeah, and then I go, oh, didn't know that one. Plot twist. Interesting. And it was the reaction about didn't know that one that I think was really important in this play acting. And it kept coming over and over into my mind to play out that scene. What do you think that means, honey?
You were probably reorganizing something.
Hmm.
So, I had a dream the other night where I was watching somebody in Greenland, and it was a mom with two young children. And she was there to meet a man there who was supposed to help her with something. And I don't
Hmm.
really know whether it was going to be a relationship or what it was, but she ended up going outside of the airport doors and getting locked out in Greenland at night. And I was like, this is not happening. I'm not okay with that. So I opened doors for her in the astral plane so that she could get back in. And the lights came on when she did because the lights actually turned out too. So she was basically out there in the dark with two kids not wearing enough clothing. And the person that was going to pick them up wasn't going to show up for an hour.
Interesting.
So it was really weird and very detailed and, obviously an astral experience, but my soul was doing stuff. So I figure it must have been somebody part of my soul group that I was
Mm-hmm.
helping there. And it was just bizarre. And then there was something about Alaska. So that was a few days past, but we're
Hmm.
basically lucid dreaming now, a lot of
Hmm.
us. And that means you
Yeah.
can change things while you're in your dream, which means you're in the astral plane.
Well, so you just said something interesting, lucid dreaming, and then you also said Alaska. I just picked up a TikTok video that said that there was a major storm in Alaska and that no
Mhm.
one knew about it. And that storm was actually that there are many people who were killed in the indigenous community, that at least 20 people were unaccounted for, probably even more, and that no one's reporting on it. But they went into the houses were going into the Bering Straits.
Yeah.
That sounds significant, does it, honey?
Yeah.
What's
It
happening
is
there?
significant. It was a major clearing.
Mm,
And I know I was worried about it in the astral plane. I didn't know what I did there, but I went to Alaska somehow to like look at it. And we have to remember, like, if you think about source or God, it's like this big ocean of consciousness, and Earth is floating around in it like a boat, you know,
mm,
and it really
mhm.
doesn't move because the ocean of God is made of plasma. So it's kind of jelly like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
consciousness. And that's why plasma is so powerful because it's basically the body of God. And we
Mm.
have plasma within us, and we are part of that body. So, anyway, that's a big concept.
Very interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is. Plasma is, and actually, we should do a show on that. There's a woman who actually just wrote a book about plasma, and she's the plasma woman, and it's like
Mhm.
everything that we can do. So we should definitely have that conversation about plasma. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. The Alaska thing comes up because when someone says something, it's like they often don't talk about Alaska, and it is not normal for a storm to hit that area. So this is very unusual. So something's happening there. Were they covering up something, honey, in Alaska?
Yeah. They're cleaning something up that has been pretty negative for a very long time. Unfortunately, people did pass. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that was a contract that they had, so they knew on some level that they were going to pass, and they
Mm-hmm.
probably felt the urge to get out of there and didn't. And I also
Mm-hmm.
feel that some were actually evacuated
Mm-hmm.
in secret ways before it
Yeah,
happened.
because
Um,
this, oh,
it's
I'm
going
so
to
sorry.
connect back to Russia.
That's what I thought because Alaska is that connective tissue
Mhm.
between Russia and the US, and Alaska's gone back and forth, but also Tartaria. So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting situation because there's another thing that started talking about storms that said the storms, you know how we normally have a hurricane that hits the US sometime, and it's
Mhm.
always by September or in September, the first week of September. We haven't had, since they have stopped weather manipulation, we haven't had a hurricane hit the shores of the United States or hit land.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
It's part of the government shutdown that they're showing everyone that the government actually was the one who was kind of doing that. Now we are having major storms. Colorado, a lot of it's been flooded. I don't think anybody's lost their life that I know of, but like huge floods going on here. It rained all night last night, and it looks like a blanket of cloud, and you can just see the sun on the edges. I took a picture of it this morning. So I'll put that on
Mm.
Telegram.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
it's just really interesting right now.
Because Colorado is known for being extremely sunny and
Right.
having the most number of sunny days. So having that kind of cloud, and we in Italy are also, this will be another sort of a week of weekend storms that we've had. And all the weather is much colder, like it felt like winter.
Yeah.
Now, some people say that they're noticing that the major current that goes through the Atlantic has shifted. Is that shifted? That current shifted? Has
Yeah,
it
I
gone
get
in,
yes.
or what is it? What has it done?
It's shifted and it has something to do with the ice wall.
Bringing waters into different areas for melting the ice wall? Is that what we're hearing?
It's already melting. I feel like a big chasm opened up.
Mhm.
So like a way in is opening right now.
Mhm.
Almost like that there's a pathway of ice that's melting and opening up a pathway to the other ring.
Interesting. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. We want to do a little bit more there. I want to just say my other thing about the dream or that was coming in, and then and then we'll go back to this storm with the ice wall. I've been hearing the wedding song, not because I'm getting married, but I've been hearing the wedding song. So there is a marriage or something. Now you said that marriage is a new beginning.
Mhm.
What am I hearing that song for?
You're about to see something really big and new happen for yourself, but also the world is about ready to see that. So
Okay.
you're involved in a lot of the astral big stuff. And a lot of the architects are. So we're involved in a lot of the energy that gets shifted.
Hmm.
And that comes down the pike, like if you think about the soul groups, the architects, the angelics, and they will do a lot of intense things to shift the energy because humanity, it's time for them to rise. And then
Hmm.
you'll have the dragons and the elementals and the titans. I don't want to forget anybody, and the ETs that are all contributing to that. So they're taking on the nuance, whereas the architects and the angelics are pushing the big energy. So architects are the ones that create the lightning, say, you
Hmm.
know, and then what that energy does is going to be up to humanity and the rest of the beings as they navigate it. So they're dealing with the nuance of everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's a big deal what's happening.
Wow. No, I feel like we're definitely feeling that. No wonder we're all exhausted because we're so busy and we have so
Yeah.
many things to handle. We had no idea how much more we're handling in the multidimensional self. But that's funny because as I had said that one time from you before when you were here in Italy, I had heard that and I thought that's really interesting. Why? And you're like, that's a new beginning. That's something new. That's
Mhm.
something big. And that's very exciting. So I thought that was really fun. And in addition to this, plot twist. Did not know that. Sort of like some of us feel like we've done so much research, and I'll put myself in that category and saying, like, I think I know what's going on with this and with this and with this. And the truth is, I'm going to be surprised. And
Mhm.
they're prepping me on that. And I think
Yeah.
we should all be prepped for that and have that. They're trying to make a joke of it and say that you really need to step back and say, did not see that one, like in a movie, like in a plot twist. Say, okay, missed that one. Because there's going to be a lot that we're
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out with.
It's so intensely wild, and it's because the timelines keep shifting, and it's really about the energy. So, as soon as like we have one of these big blasts, so you've been shown a new beginning, which is definitely coming. And I was shown last night all of the things that were being worked through that were not nice.
Mm,
And working through them opens a doorway for new beginnings. So,
mm,
whenever you work with any kind of trauma, then you're actually helping the whole collective move into the next thing.
So beautiful and so powerful. It's hard to imagine how powerful that really is, that when we do this work, that we are truly helping the whole collective because we are
Yeah.
one. So let's go back to this, though. We were talking about Alaska and Russia, why this is important. So what's going on with Russia right now? Because right now we have shifted attention from Ukraine and Russia to the Middle East. We've got Netanyahu, we've got Iran, we've got hostages, we've got Hamas, we've got this big supposed peace agreement that's happened. So what's going on with Russia? And then we'll go over to the Middle East.
I feel like Russia is getting ready to have some sort of alliance with the US, and Alaska is the key to that. So somehow,
Hmm.
almost like sharing Alaska will
Hmm.
become a thing.
And
Um,
Alaska's important. Alaska has a lot of oil,
yeah,
but is oil really important now?
no, it's going to be about technology and
Mm.
also getting back to the land. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of hidden things in Alaska.
Now we're getting into what kinds of things? Ancient ruins,
Mhm.
portals. What do we have in Alaska? Not down
All
there,
of
up.
that. I feel like there is some crystal cities as well hidden. And there's the tall whites are there. So they're Nordic. Um, so they would look like a very tall, blonde person.
Mm.
Um, and they
Like in the
haven't
region.
always been friendly.
Hmm.
Sometimes they've been really perturbed at humanity. Um, they're ascended now, though, so they're not going to be doing anything negative. But I think humanity really screwed around with them too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's interesting. So Alaska might be a bridge between the two cultures because the US is important because it's been this experiment for certain types of freedoms, or at least a taste
Mhm.
of it. Because once you are an American and you live in another country, you realize just how much freedom you have. And it's not the freedoms that we think about just in the physical world, it's the freedom of the mind, the
Yeah.
freedom of what you can do. It's fascinating on that. But Russia, why is Russia so important?
They have so much knowledge. Like he introduced Tartaria and released that library. I don't remember when. It was like 3 years ago or something.
Mhm.
So Russia's information is extremely important. And as we start to talk to them and do projects with them, then the knowledge is going to come out. And the knowledge might actually come out because of the union that we create, like
Hmm.
the bridge.
Did Russia have the fires like we had in the Western world, like in the US? So that's why they kept their knowledge.
Yeah.
I've seen this on the technology side that oftentimes there's an obscure academic paper that was out of Russia where people get, oh my God, there's the idea, there's the information. That's fascinating. Very,
Mhm.
very good. Well, that's exciting. That's positive. So this whole Ukraine-Russia thing has sort of been over there. Now we're back into the Middle East, and we've had this transfer of the hostages and a ceasefire. What is this? A demonstration of true world peace.
Yes. Yeah. It's also a demonstration of the end of trafficking
Mm.
because trafficked people are also hostages.
So this term, releasing the hostages, is a much broader concept
Yeah.
than releasing the Israeli hostages. So we've seen now that there has been jubilee in Israel for all of this. Is this the jubilee?
Yeah. We're at the final moments of switchover, really. How long will those moments take? That's up to us, but
Yeah,
we're really in it right now. And I think the government is still shut down. So,
it
yeah,
is. It is. Shut down.
Hmm. And that's a
There,
big thing too, because it will be completely different when it opens back up, I'm getting.
will it open back up?
Yeah, in a much different way. Like we will need governments for a little while, but they'll be very small, like 10%, and
Which is
very
good.
transparent.
Will we be using blockchain technology, distributed ledger to govern us? Because that's been they've been
Um, I get yes, but not in the way that we're thinking.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, but it'll
So
definitely
what
be the money. Sorry.
right, money will do
Yeah.
that. So this jubilee that's happening in Israel, which none of us really completely understand what's happening, is they're it's significant, and they're blowing the shofar, which is supposedly a major important part of the biblical story, and also it's a frequency.
Hmm.
What does this mean? This blowing of the shofar?
It means that the people of Israel are free. So there's like all this emotion too. Like I can feel it. They're free finally from that government because I think the Rothschilds took over back in the 40s. So they're finally going to be free. And also the octopus arms, of Israel's government will basically be seen
Hmm.
too, which will also massively reduce the government's size. It's already been seen, but they'll see it publicly.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is very interesting. So it's really important. This peace agreement is really a major shift for humanity, and that provides the underpinning of global peace for this transition of the financial system, whether you want to call it Jasara, Nasara, whatever it is,
Hmm.
kind of a thing. Is this the precursor to the transition for financial system?
Okay, yes. Yeah. And the news is being exposed too. Like it just popped into my head because I saw CNN is getting chastised right now. And
Mm.
they're having to say the truth. And they're also telling people who's being investigated. So there's so many Congress people and all these government people that are being investigated right now.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Wow. So what else should we know about what this piece is from the Middle East?
It feels like we're there, and now everything else will just be aftermath of that. Like this was the corner that needed to be turned. We're on a much higher timeline now. So things are going to start to show up, and really try and just allow that. Don't attach a bunch of this has got to happen at this time. I need this right now because
Mm-hmm.
that tangles it up. And we want it just to flow out to all of us and for it to happen in a fast way. And that's part of the clearing too. Like when you clear your trauma, let's say you had money trauma that needed to be cleared. When you clear that, then your body is willing to accept abundance. It's huge. It's very
Yes.
important. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. There's a wonderful song that's going around right now where this man is a spiritual, like a beautiful energy, and it's like it's called I Get Paid to Exist.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that
It's
one.
wonderful. It's wonderful. And I play it on repeat. It just plays all the time because my algorithm knows that I like it so much. So I hear it and I see different people dancing to it and all of that. And I think that's a wonderful way for us to use a frequency and joyfully, playfully
Yeah.
accept this kind of abundance. And I think abundance is going to be a very different concept as well, where, yes, there's going to be the money for it, but the money we're going to realize isn't really the thing that makes us
Mm-mm.
abundant.
No.
It is the abundance of mindset, the freedom of thought, which is really interesting. So we also had this piece that Trump had a large speech that he did. Now I didn't listen to it, and I know you hadn't listened to it either.
Mm-mm.
But can we just get a download from the universe? What you think about what's sort of the key? What was he really trying to say to us here? And then we'll go back and listen to him.
Yeah. I want to listen to it too because when I got the download, it was all about peace is actually done. everything's done and we are in peace, world peace. So
Mm,
that means everybody has capitulated or already switched over. So there are
mm,
a few countries that have already switched over. One of them, Ethiopia, never got involved. So they have a totally different calendar. They have a totally different Bible. They are in the know in a lot of ways. And then Miramar, I think it's called.
hmm.
I feel like they've switched over and they were kind of a litmus test for how it's going to work, and an example.
Hmm.
So they've switched over, and I feel like people were really excited about that. So that
Mm.
helped people know, in the government, the white hats know this is going to work. People are finally ready. It was like a test strip, you know?
Yeah, because there was some negative news about what was happening in the financial system from Miramar, but it was really actually because it was the military was going against the government there. So
Yeah.
that's what that meant. That's fascinating. So that's really interesting. What role have the ETs played in the signing and the ability to get to this peace agreement in the Middle East?
Massive role. So they've been behind the white hats almost like a support system the whole time. And they're the ones who got rid of the most negative, which were beyond the ice wall. And they were like the farmers of this corral that we've been in for a long
Mm,
time. So they dealt with that in 2013 is when I get that war was won.
mm,
And it was like massive, an obliteration, basically. And a lot of those buildings that were negative were taken down out there. So I saw like black cubes and lots of crazy stuff out there mixed in with Tartarian buildings and different things, but a lot of negativity was going on out there and a lot of energy harvesting.
hmm.
So that's been fixed. And they kind of supported the military here like the entire time, even if
Hmm.
they weren't present. But a lot of times they were present in those tunnels and in different things. So it was pretty major what they've done.
Did they stop and interfere with missiles that could have escalated the war?
Yeah. Yeah. That missile that went for Trump, I want to say in 2021, maybe, um, near the Washington coast. They took
Mm-hmm.
care of that. They've taken care of many tsunamis. They've taken care of, and also humanity has taken care of many tsunamis. But
Mm-hmm.
the ETs in the ocean, which are basically the interdimensionals, and then the extraterrestrial ETs, they've all been constantly working here.
Mm. So interesting. No, that, I mean, that's really amazing what it is. So in the Middle East, why was it always focused on the Middle East? And why did the cabal, the whoever it was, they were really promoting this ancient rivalry. What was the reason for this massive issue in the Middle East?
There's a key to hidden technology there that they've been guarding, and there's hidden truth there that they've been guarding.
Mm.
So much about who humanity actually is going to come out.
Yeah, see, that's what the protection was. Will we find things like, is the Ark of the Covenant real?
It is real. I don't feel like it's there in
Hmm.
Israel. Um, I feel like that's actually being guarded by ETs at this point. Humanity's not ready for it.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
And portals, will we be starting to use the portals soon to go to different parts of the earth with them?
Some will, and
Yeah.
some will not be ready. And it's about your frequency.
Wow. That's
And
very.
I will say something really fun. So, those little handbags that we see in all the Egyptian stuff. Like they look, they're like a space traveler and they've got their handbag. Those were
Mm.
actually portal keys. Those
Oh,
handbags are keys to the portals, like those stargates.
wow.
Yeah, that popped into
Wow.
my head the other day when I was watching one of those videos. I'm like, oh, that's what those are
Wow.
for.
But
Yeah,
that's also really interesting because you think about that, like how we value the handbag right now in
yeah.
our culture. So that's fascinating. And how the luxury designers will create this value and scarcity about them too. So
Yeah.
very interesting. Wow, very interesting. That is fun. Wow. Oh my gosh. So it sounds like, I mean, if you're saying we really are in this era of peace, this agreement is massively transitioning. We're both getting these dreams that talk about the new beginning and how things are going to shift. We're in a really positive place right now, aren't we?
Hmm. It's really good. And even
Yeah.
if you have a night where it's crazy and you're up half the night, be grateful for it because we are clearing so much gunk that we don't need to take, into this new reality that we're creating together. We don't need any of that. So, and it makes so much room for beautiful things.
Wow, this is very, very exciting. Well, honey, you and I decided that we were going to do a couple of these a week and make them shorter. So
Yep.
I'll honor that and sort of cut this off here. But I'm really excited. I think this is such a positive time and there is a lot going on. And really, the whole idea of us doing this more frequently is to say that we are still, whatever we focus on, we're creating. It's really important now that we keep our focus and grounded and the focus of our energies on the things that we do want, not what we don't want. And
Mhm.
so this is really exciting to share this moment with you. And so that's what we're trying to do, guys, here, which is really good. And honey, thank you for your time. So would you
Thank
have anything
you.
that you'd like to share before we wrap this one up?
I would say if you have time and try and make time, be in the vibration of what you are calling into your life. So just feel it, visualize it, and be in it and feel that. And if you can do it in the morning, then do it in the morning or do it before you go to bed
It
because
works.
we are driving all of this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is so important to do that. I love that. So really, we are instantly manifesting. We are doing certain things and our joy and our energy, it's really important right now. And so we're sharing this together. Honey, thank you so much.
Thank
This
you.
is Lisa from Question the Narrative with Honey Golden on October the 14th, wishing everybody a great day. Ciao.
Bye, everybody.